Good afternoon, Silaholics. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How is everyone? Or if you are on any other time zone other than Eastern, it would actually be good morning. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? So as you can see from the thumbnail, it's not going to quite be a Q&A, but we're going to have like a PSA or, in this case, an HSA, an honestly speaking announcement, and we're going to talk about fears. I talked a little bit about it yesterday and just kind of some of the things I was going through, but there was a post made in my group by one of my lovely admins, i.e. my mother. And there were some comments and things on there, and just want to kind of address those comments. So we're going to talk about fears today. It's not quite a general Q&A. May end up like squeezing one in right after this because I have to prepare for my live class tonight on tracing. But I'll try to squeeze in a Q&A after this and before that class. But like I said, as you can see from the title screen, we are going to talk about fears. It is okay to have fears. It is okay to be fearful, but it is not okay to let it control you and dictate you from being the best you, from putting your best foot forward, from stepping out on faith. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And hopefully this can be encouraging to you guys. All right. So drop a hey, how you doing in the comment section. Let me know that you are watching. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, because y'all know our internet likes to act crazy sometimes. So let me know if you are able to hear me loud and clear, because I know our TV is off, like it's not working, but I don't know how the internet is kind of performing. So let me know if you guys can hear me. Test 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hey, 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 hey. Do. Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you? Oh, there we go. Loud and clear. Awesome. And I see, I hear you. All right. All right. So we are going to, again, talk about fears. While we get ready to get started, I want you to think about in this, whether it's like just crafting in general, if you're not in it for business, or if you are in this whole thing, like you follow me because you are trying to build a side hustle, you're trying to build, a business, a company, an empire. I want you to think on your fears and how they are affecting you. What decisions do you make daily based off of your fears? What do you choose not to do? What do you choose to do every single day? And is it connected to a fear? Is it connected to a fear? So I want you guys to ponder on that. And if you're bold enough to write out your fears in the comments of this video, do so. But we will get started and we will start to speak honestly about your fears and how to not let them control you. All right, so we'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, welcome back. Today's live session is brought to you by the letters HSINK and by the numbers 3, 6, and 5, which correlates with our lovely brand, Honestly Speaking, or HS Inc. 365 degrees, 30 seconds. Like, it's amazing when it comes to sublimation. So this live broadcast is brought to you by shop.silaholics.com, where you can go to purchase your HS Inc. products. It's also where you can sign up for classes if you want to break them up into payments or just combine them with your other orders. Or you can visit our Academy site, academy.silaholics.com. This is where you can see all of the different classes that I have available. Sign up for them. We are going to have a bundle deal real soon. I'm trying to finalize it and finalize the what's the thing called? The thumbnail for it. But we're preparing for the next year. So some of the older classes that we've done, still great information that can apply to a lot of things that you do. We're going to have kind of a sale and bundle up some of that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't have an account on academy.silaholics.com, I highly recommend that you do, because I am always doing giveaways for access to classes. And in order to get access to the class, you have to have an account on the site. That way I look for your name and I immediately enroll you. If you aren't enrolled, you aren't going to be eligible for any of the giveaways. I will move on to the next person if I don't see an account. So make sure that you guys click the link in the description of the video. Head on over to academy.silaholics.com and create an account. It's free to create an account there. All right. And that's all you have to do to be eligible whenever I do giveaways for classes or memberships and things like that. All righty, y'all. So let's get into this. All right. Today's topic. All right. Let's see. How y'all doing? Y'all good? I'm good today. Had a little rough day yesterday because of fears. But today is a better day. I did not let it control me. I did not let it keep me down. So that's why I want to talk about this today. So if you don't know who I am Shakia, the professor of Silaholics Anonymous, and our product line is called Honestly Speaking. So that's who this podcast is brought to you by, our own product line, right? So we're going to talk again, like I said, today about fear. So yesterday I was saying, I just wasn't having a really great day. It was weighing heavy on me, just in how I am, not to say conducting business, but, just, I was like, I don't want to say it was like fearful, or it was like, I think it's a whole other conversation, maybe doubt. But just fearful of like the direction that my classes and like that's going in. I've always said, I love what I do. Like, I absolutely love what I do. Everyone always like, I always see people say like, how is she online all day? What does she do? She doesn't work. This is actually my job, y'all. Like, this is actually my job. I get up every single day, work on my schedule, check emails, do all this stuff, prep and plan and look at groups. I spend a lot of time in Facebook groups because I'm looking to see what is it that people want to learn, where are people's shortcomings and stuff like that, and how can I help? And why does it feel like I'm in a Chinese movie? I'm looking at this, but I feel like my mouth isn't matching my I don't know if it's not matching. I feel like right now from my playback monitor, I'm in a Japanese movie. But anywho, I'm always like searching groups just to find out what people's pain points are. Like, what do they need help with? So I spend a lot of time online. So you're going to see me like in a lot of places online, like Facebook groups. I'm always live, watching different YouTube videos, commenting them, supporting other content creators, because it really does help me in what I do. This is, like I said, this is my job. My company is built around helping others. But I had a little moment because I'm like, is it effective? I keep hearing people say like, you're not charging enough, being fearful of the same things that you guys go through in pricing, right? For me, I'm I kind of shut them down sometimes because I know my audience, and I'm okay with, or at least I thought I was okay with like my price points and things like that. But people always say you should charge so much more. Like the information you give, like I give so much of myself. And so it was I was like, am I hurting myself? Because I'm okay with what I do, right? And how I do it most times, and like the price point. But when you have a lot of people coming at you, it's like, okay, are they right? Am I wrong? And then when I have classes, and if someone doesn't quite get it, my fear is I'm not teaching effectively, right? Is there a better way that I could do this? So my fear is always just like, I'm not helping enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not preparing enough. Like that is like my fear, that, people are paying me for a service, and the fear, like feeling like they're not getting what they paid for, if that makes sense. As much as I do like for free, like I have that fear that, I'm not charging a whole lot, but I always feel like it's like how much I want to give, and I want people to walk away feeling like I learned something, like this was helpful. This was worth my $35. This is worth my $75. This is worth my $100, whatever the price is. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. This is like the second or third time fire rescue has had to come to my neighbor's house, so it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm praying that she's okay. Um, Give me a moment. Okay, my bad. Had to go into prayer mode. Because yeah, that's like the third time, like in the like last couple of weeks or whatever, that is that they've come there. And I think it is, that word that we're technically not supposed to say online, which is kind of weird because it's like everywhere. But people always say that saying that online gets you in trouble, but it's that C word. So yeah. So anywho, that kind of threw me off. I'm sorry. um I forgot my whole train of thought. I forget now, but I'm going to read your comments because that just threw my whole thought process off. All right. So, someone said, over preparation, fear of proving my husband right that this will not work. Oh, that is, whoa. That last part I've had to deal with. I've had to go through that with mine before. So I understand that one. Fear and his partner doubt has to go. Fear of failure. Let's see. I know how it is here in Brooklyn. People want all cheap prices. So my battle is in prices. I second guess myself too much. Oh, imposter syndrome. That's a good one. We're going to talk about that like in a whole different segment. Fear of failure and going live on Facebook. You are a fantastic teacher, and some people just take longer to get it. I love how much I have learned from you on here and in class, but changing prices will not make them learn any better. Very good point. Very, 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 very good point. But let me tell you what my fear is, right? In the pricing part of it. And we're going to talk about like just in general, like how can I overcome this stuff, right? Naturally, as consumers, we look at prices, and this may help some of you guys too when it comes to your prices, or like, you're saying people say they want something that's cheap or inexpensive. So when you think about prices, right? Let's just take, actually, I just had some Captain Crunch. Let's just Captain Crunch cereal, cars, bread, or whatever. If you are in your everyday life, right? And you go into a store and there is the name brand cereal that costs a little bit more, or the one that is not so great. Your thoughts on the one that costs a little bit more? I mean, it probably they kind of look the same. They might taste a little different, but the one that costs more, it's psychological in what you think like that's better. You look at cars. The quality of cars affects the price. So my fear in listening to what people are saying, and when it comes to people joining class and things like that, is, are they thinking that everybody else charges this amount for it? So if she's only charging this, how great can the information be? Because if the information is great, why charge here where you can charge here if the information is all that great? So that has been a fear of mine. Just like you guys worry about prices, I worry about prices. In that, does the price of it make people feel like the information is going to be cheap? It's not going to be worth it. That's the same thing that can happen in what you do. People like to feel like for some people, you have to, again, know your market. There are some people that like to feel, it makes them feel good, should I say, that they spent money. They spent some coins on some stuff. So it's like they take pride in the fact that, okay, yeah, you got a Target bag. I got me a Birkin bag. You got you a this bag. I got me, I don't do designer bags, but all those designs. I got me a Coach bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, a Versace bag. So there are some people, they take pride in that. And they'll look down on things that they feel like aren't at the caliber or like at the level that they feel like they should have on their arm. The level that they feel like they should be holding in their hand to drink. So you have to know who your target audience is. And if you are targeting an audience who does not see value in stuff like that, they're always going to question your prices. So that fear in putting yourself out there and charging what you're worth. I know a lot of people, that's their fear. Charging what they know the value of what they're doing is. But if you are making something where the value of it is higher than your core demographic, that is on you, not them. Because they will pay for what they want. If you are not confident, if you are not putting value on what you are doing, when they go out, they'll figure out a way. Back to school game, get them kids those Jordans. Now, for some people, for people who like quality, like me, I'm not a big Jordan person. They look great. I'm just not that person. So I don't put value on it. Can we afford it? Yes. Do I want to buy it? No. I really hate when people say, oh, they can't afford me. Oh, honey, it's not that I can't afford you. You just don't, I don't resonate with you. You don't connect with me. I don't have a connection in what you do. Every picture I see that you do, they all look the same. You are an event planner that does all blingy stuff, and everything you do as Crystal, they all look the same. I'm looking for something different. So I may have asked you for a quote, and then it's like, or, why aren't they shopping with me? Even if I'm your family, you do all of this type of stuff. That's not what I'm looking for. And for what you are providing, it's like, can I afford it? Yes. But do I want it? No, because you aren't able to provide me what I want. I've gotten to a point where my shirts and stuff, people don't question me on that anymore. Unless, like, it's a really, really, really big order. I can choose to give them a discount, but pricing is really no longer my fear. I calculate what it is. I know how much my design fee is. I know how much it is to run these machines for however many hours it's going to take to do it. So I set my price and keep it moving. If I need to give a discount, like they kind of talk to me and let me know, like, if it works for me and what I know my bottom line needs to be, I'm willing to work with them. But normally for a single shirt, oh honey, whatever I say my price is for a single shirt, I am not budging on that, like in any way, shape, or form. Really large order, like the 34 shirts, try and hook it up. But one single shirt, it takes more. Do y'all know when you're custom designing, it takes more work for one shirt than a whole bunch of shirts? Because you're literally like, you're creating this design, you're doing all of this for one shirt. One shirt should definitely cost way more than a whole bunch of shirts. But anyway, let's get back to that post my mom posted. Why are people fearful of posting their items when it comes to classes and people are willing to help you? Why are you afraid to ask your question? Do you feel like it's a dumb question? Is it, does the instructor intimidate you? Is it, speaking in front of a bunch of people that intimidates you, even though they can't see your face? Like, what is it? So somebody said, fear of, I'm looking at everybody else's stuff, that I'm fearful that my stuff isn't good enough. There's a bunch of crazy people who like to not give constructive criticism. Some people are fearful of criticism, right? Or constructive feedback. Let me help you guys maybe be a little bit easier with, if you're in a group, right? Most times in a group, it is like, especially like crafting groups, it is like-minded people. You got some people who are going to be not so nice, but you have to have thick skin in this industry if you're going to do this. But here's how I want you to reverse that thinking. You are not going to be able to please everybody. Everybody is not your customer. And for some of those people who are leaving comments like, I don't really like this, not so great, guess what? Those customers exist. Even in however many years I've been doing this, like I can't even think now, how many years? Like it's been several years, more than the 7 that I've been doing silhouettes. So it's like, just creatively making things. I don't always get it right the first time. I've had customers come back and say, no, I don't like this. Can you switch this out? When people are kind of giving some type of constructive criticism, or even if it seems not so nice, I want you to think of them as potential customers. If you go into Facebook groups always expecting to get likes, sunshine and rainbows comments, how are you going to grow? I look at some of my stuff from before, like years ago, and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? But if no one ever challenged me, no one ever gave me some constructive criticism to say, okay, that ain't really cute. You might want to do X, Y, and Z, or maybe change this, maybe change that. I wouldn't have seen growth in my designing, in my selection for text, how I arrange stuff. People always say, well, how do you design that way? Because when someone told me that it wasn't good enough or it wasn't to their liking, I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to figure out different ways of designing. It may look good to my eye and what I like, but in this business that you are doing, where you have decided that you want to create items for other people, you are not making things according to how you like them if you are making them for other people. Unless your core audience is going to be exactly like you. It is someone who has the same personality as you, who has the same number of children as you, who has the same job as you, the same type of husband as you, the same type of car as you, they have to be you. They have had to have had the same experiences, the same outlook on life for them to want to have something exactly how you like it. But you're not working for yourself. You are providing a service to others. So when your fear is they aren't going to like it, did you make that based off of what you liked or what's your core audience. Because now, if your fear is they're not going to like it because you did it off of what you liked, then whose problem is that? Is that your customers who you're supposed to be servicing? Or it now comes back on you because you are fearful of changing how you do things for a business that you want, if that makes sense. Oh, I saw my mom comment. I thought maybe my mic wasn't on again. But you have to drop that being fearful of posting because it's not good enough or someone criticizing it, because sometimes you need that feedback. That's not always just, oh, it's great, it's great, it's great. I fear sometimes commenting on people's things because, well, people always say I'm a know-it-all or this, that, and the third or whatever. I'm trying to be controlling, but it's not that. It's like I genuinely want to see the best in people. And if I see something where it can be great, but you had some poor font choices, I'll say, okay, yeah, I like the concept, but it's this, that, and the third. If you take that and you get defensive about it, how are you going to grow? Because I could have been a client of yours. I could have been a potential customer, and I like your work. It's nice, it's neat. You see some people, they have great designs, but it's real sloppy in how they executed it. Yours is nice and neat. Your presentation is great, but your choice of like fonts, your choice of colors, your mixture of it, your layout may have been a little weird and don't quite understand, why did you lay it out this way? Why is the design so top heavy on this side and it's like one little sprinkle of something here? So when I put this shirt on, it's going to look like, it's not going to look balanced. It's little things like that where you need that feedback in order to grow. Here's the other part of posting. I made a post. I just had a class about it was for out of the box. There are people who said they have not opened up their box in 3 years. They've had it sitting there. It's been a paperweight. They've had it since Christmas. They've had it for months and months. I've seen posts where people say, I've had all the equipment. I have a brand new 7720s have not been produced in God knows how long, but they got a brand new 7720. They've had ink that's sitting there, paper. They have blanks. They have not touched it. Who's winning? Who's doing better? You who has started. You have something accomplished. And half the time, some of these negative Nancy comments are coming from people who have not even opened up their equipment. There are so many people who have not even started. You have. Do you not see like the positivity in that win? You're winning because you're using your equipment. You are using your investment. Whether the first one is perfect, the second one, the third one, you probably go into this and it's like you've watched so much stuff and you go into it. Your first 5 are perfect, right? Beginner's luck, right? Your next one, the next one after that, oh my God, I can't do this. You have to see the lesson in not the failure. Like if it's not right, if it's not 100%, if it wasn't all that great, are you writing notes of what you did, how you can improve it? Your fears sometimes fester and they grow because you are not addressing them. You are creating fears from what you consider to be a failure. And it wasn't a failure, it was a lesson. But you are in your own, as I was told, get out of my own head. You are in your own head to where you now have created this unnecessary fear that is now controlling you to where you are ready to give up. Why? You're doing it. You've done it. Now all you have to do is improve on it. Everyone doesn't come out and jump into this being perfect, getting it right the first time. The stuff I got over here that ain't right. Do y'all see the tongues that I make that just are not right? And I sit up here. I got so many of these to where, actually, look. And mind you, I was on live. I'm the professor. I was on live and I got this jacked up print. I could have had this fear of, oh Lord, they're going to think she don't know what she's talking about. I don't need to be doing no videos and this, that, and the third. I could have let that eat me up. This could have turned into actually, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like, oh Lord, but I didn't let it control me. I know that this isn't my work all the time. This was a fluke. Maybe it was meant to happen so that I can teach others. But I was scared as hell when this happened, and I'm just like, oh my God, they're gonna think she don't know what the hell she's talking about. She always on here, whatever, and she messing up too. I never said I was perfect. I never said that I wasn't gonna mess up. But I learn enough, and I write down notes when this happened. I took note of why this was. I'm like, okay, I can continue to screw up, I guess you can say, on these. And if I feel like I want to do a lot of them, what changes needs to be made? So me sitting there trying to take them down and flip them, that didn't work. So then I took my butt on Johnson's Plastic. And is it an investment? Yes. But just in this one instance, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have to tape anymore. I went and brought the jig for this so that way they can be right. And I don't have to do all of this unnecessary taping and flipping and this and the third. I didn't let that control me. It bugged me to no end. I stressed over it. Oh my God, I was on this live. I'm talking about how wonderful our paper is and this, that, and the third. I'm always trying to teach people. I want them to join my classes. And then this happens. That ate me up. The fear that you guys were talking about me. Other people were watching, laughing at me. In my mind, I just knew that those who were haters, those who were praying for my downfall were laughing. Ha ha ha. She thinks she's perfect. She messed up on live in front of all these people. I could have let that eat me up. When I was testing out, where are those things at? Although this was I could have kept this to myself. This was in the lab. This is how I test stuff. This is how I go about figuring out. And so then for this to be messing up and then mess up and then mess up and then the texture on it, it could be like, well, how can she teach us and she don't even know the temperatures? It's not that I don't know. It's different equipment, different equipment, different suppliers and stuff like that in testing it. I could have let the fear of judgment control me and be like, I'm not doing no more lives for this type of stuff because, they all kept messing up. They kept messing up. They kept messing up. They kept messing up. Then this stupid QR code and me not realizing, oh, wait, it's curved. You can't have it this big. So I'm trying to go and use the code and it's not working. And I'm on live and this is not working. And I'm like, y'all, if y'all could see how stressed I was when this was going wrong. And I'm just like, oh, wow, I could have crawled into a corner and I could have given up and be like, okay, I'm not going to do no lives no more. I'm not going to do this anymore. They're on their own. I'm not going to teach. Like, they're not going to come back and watch. They're not going to do this. Like, I had all of this going through my head, but I can't let it control me. I write my notes. I test it again on my own. And then I can now come back and talk about things that, so for me, you might think, oh, well, that's you. You teach. It's a little bit different. I get scared every time I come up on this mug. Even with doing this one. What are they going to think? Who is she to tell us that, we can't be scared and how to do this and how to do that? I am fearful every time I come on this live. Because I'm also doing things that can affect people's lives, their businesses. Am I giving the right information? But I can't let it control me. I know the information that people need, and I need to give it to them. You guys have to take that same control back. Is it scary? Yes. That word, intimidation. Why are you all letting a machine? You do know this machine can't hit you, can't hurt you. It can't cuss you out. It can't do any of these machines, these printers, these heat presses, these ovens, the paper, it cannot do anything that you don't allow it to do. We are intimidated by a program, intimidated by a machine that needs us to control it and tell it what to do. Why? Fearful of my stuff not looking like everyone else's. How long have you been designing? How long have you been making items? How long have you been in business? How long have you had your side hustle? You just started a month ago. Who said that it was supposed to be perfect? You started a month ago. You just got this equipment. There is nothing on Facebook that says this person started last week. This person started a month ago. This person has been doing this for 5 years. This person has been doing this for 10 years, for 20 years. There is nothing on any Facebook post that tells you how long someone's been doing something. Not at all. So how do you know that the post that you're looking at, and it's all great, how long have they been doing it? Did they design it? We get kind of hung up on some stuff and, oh my God, it looks so great. And all they did was press it. Half the time these posts don't tell you they designed something themselves. They took something that somebody else did and they pressed it. Baby, you can be just as great, because pressing it is, once you do the research and you're doing it right, you can press and have it look just as good. You don't know what each person's situation is. Just because a group says it is for beginners, for those who have been in this for a while, 6 months, a year, you joined a group that was for beginners. Did you leave that group, or are you still in that group? Are you a beginner at this point? How many sales have you had? You have people who are experts in a beginner's group. So just because you're in a beginner's group and you're seeing all this stuff, you can't assume that they're all beginners and their stuff is looking great and yours is not, because there are some seasoned vets. If a beginner's group was filled with nothing but beginners, how are they going to get help? There has to be someone in there that knows more than them to be able to help them. So you have created this fear that's controlling you in a like for some, it's a group is for people who are like-minded. They're all crafters. They want to submit. They want to make party favors. They want to sew. They want to do this. They want to do that. If you have this fear with the people who are just like you, who are trying to build just like you, how in the heck are you going to post for folk who need to spend money? You have to use Facebook groups for what they are for, like what they are intended for. That's your soft audience. These are other people. You can get feedback. And I think we also need to be open with like honest feedback. You don't have to be nasty, but you can go and, give a suggestion on something. And then if someone does give a suggestion on something and they weren't being nasty at all, some of y'all, because I don't know, hopefully they none of my people, SILAHOLICS Anonymous Team 365, we don't do that kind of stuff. So where if someone's giving construction, you want to attack the person that was trying to help someone else. That drives me nuts when that happens in Facebook groups. All you said was, it's okay, but I don't like this. Anybody ask you what you like? If you ain't got nothing nice to say, I'm sorry. Could I not be a potential, I might be the avatar of who her core demographic is. So if no one is telling someone what they need to improve on, what they need to work on, then what? I don't think everything I do is perfect. How many times have I created something and I come on here and say, okay, what y'all think? Because I have, I'm like, okay, to my eye, it looks great, but maybe before I show it to my client, let me find out from some other people what they're thinking, what they like, because I may not have seen something because I'm so close to it. So you got to stop knocking people down, all like in everything. Being a yes man, always saying that, okay, it's perfect, giving someone a thumbs up and never giving them constructive criticism hurts them more than it helps them. Because there may be something that's wrong in that. And they're thinking that, oh, it's great, I'm perfect, I don't have to change, I don't have to grow. That's not helping. I know my team was sick of me this weekend because it's like they're telling me, and I'm always that way. I put up a wall first. I be in my head, I'm in my feelings, and so I react, and then I calm down. I think about it. I have notebooks on top of notebooks on top of notebooks. I write stuff down. Okay, let me take what they said and figure out, okay, what part of it has some truth to it? What part of it is I can figure out a way to take what they're saying, combine it with what I think and what I'm feeling, and make, and kind of have a happy medium. And then there are some things where I just don't accept. And you don't have to accept all criticism, all feedback, because their feedback will sometimes come from their perspective, their personal experiences, but that might not be the same for someone else, So you have to be wise enough to see the truth and some truth in what they're saying, that, okay, this may not be working. And if you are stressing over it, then if you are stressing, that it's not working. So why continue to do the thing that's not working? Fear is not working for you. You want to have a successful business. Fear does not help you get, or letting the fear control you does not help you get to that goal. So if you continue to let that fear control you, it's insanity. The definition of insanity is continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, the same exact way, expecting a different result. So at what point are you going to break past that fear? At least just for one day. Let there be one day where you are fearless. You'll probably go back to being fearful, but let it be that one day. One day. All I'm asking for is one day. Just one. If you think about not posting it, you post it. No matter what it looks like. No matter in the crafting, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it came out, little imperfections, you post it and you be proud. Because in a group of thousands of people, there's thousands of people who are in that group who are just looky-loos. They have not had the confidence. They're still living in fear. Their stuff is still sitting in a box. And you might be that inspiration. Post on there. Today is my fearless day. Hashtag fearless. Maybe it will help somebody else who is fearful, and their fear is, and they haven't even opened their box. The fact that you're able to post it, be proud of it. When you show that you're proud of something that you have accomplished, I got this stuff, I got it set up. I go back to that post that I had. She told me she's 70 years old. She watched my video. She was so proud of herself because she was able to set it up without her kids, without her grandkids. Even if she didn't print anything out, she at least accomplished that first part. Now, when she goes and makes that first blanket, that first shirt, that first tumbler, there should be pride in it. You did it. Whether it's perfect or not, why are you not proud of yourself for what you did? If you're doing an all over shirt, you got a little line. Guess what? The rest of the shirt has some color to it. You did something right. If the rest of the shirt has some type of color, it's some type of a full coverage, might be a little line, something in there went right. And whatever did not go right, you go back to the drawing board and you figure it out. But if you let yourself get in this funk, oh, my neck is, I'm never going to get this. My neck is going to be messed up. It's a word that someone uses, and I hate when she says that. She knows she drives me crazy when she says that. It's a D word, and I hate when she says that. I must be. You're not. It just comes with time. Designing comes with time. I did not come up with if you want to design like me, you have to be willing to be crazy. So let me ask you that. Oh, your designs are so great. How do you come up with this? I'm crazy. Like point blank in the period, I'm crazy. Do you want to be crazy to design like me? Do you want to stress all the time to design like me? Do you want to end up feeling like you spent so much time on something and you're like, it's like, do you want to live to where you feel like nothing is ever right? Because that's how I am. When I design and I'm coming up with this stuff, I still doubt it. I could have done this better. I could have done that better. So if you want to design like me, you got to be willing to be a little crazy. You got to be willing to drive yourself crazy. So is that what you want? Is that what you want? Don't think that because how you see how I do stuff, it's all gravy, it's all perfect, that I'm sitting up here like I have it all figured out. No, because I have the same fears that you guys have, but I push through them. I don't let them control me. I didn't wake up and know how to use Silhouette Studio. There were some things I did have to figure out, but I kept going. I'm afraid of this program. I'm used to Cricut. This one is too much. Have you really tried? I know for a fact of some people who have never for them to tell me, oh, it's intimidating to me. Well, what have you done? What are you trying to figure out? Oh, I don't know. I ain't even opened up the box. I ain't set that program up. Excuse me. How are you going to say you scared of it or it's intimidating and you have not even set it up? How do you know that? Edit points, I can't figure them out. How often do you tap on them? You move them around? Or are you just looking at somebody who's just going do? Oh, that looked too complicated for me. You haven't even allowed your brain to process it and your hands to process. Allow your hands and your brain to work together to figure it out. You haven't put your fingers to the mouse, your fingers to the keyboard, so that they can go and communicate with your brain to lock it in there. You're just letting your brain control it all. And more so your eyes. And you created this fear from something that you have never even tried. Please explain to me how that makes sense. Please explain to me how that makes sense. That you are letting a program that can't hurt you. This program can do nothing more than what you tell it to do. It cannot click on a button itself. It can drive you crazy because it will shut down. But that's not on you. That's somewhat whatever program. Like, I'll speak from Silhouette Studio. That's Silhouette America's issue, because I know good and heck on well there's nothing cheap about this computer that I have, but it's still acting up. And sometimes it is going to be, you have to make an investment. If this is what you want, your current equipment may not be working. So you have to make a choice to invest. You can't be, if this is what you want to do, and you are going to be diligent in it, you can't be fearful of the investment. If you cannot do it on your own, you can't be fearful of reaching out for help. All the help is not going to always come free. You're going to have to pay for some of it. You have to be honest with yourself and where you are, what your capabilities are, how long or how short your money is, to determine what you can and cannot do. But you cannot let the fear control you. So I need all of you to choose one day, whether it's today, tomorrow. I'll even give you one whole week. You got until next week, Wednesday, to where whatever you have done, go find some stuff. Take a picture of it. Post it. Hashtag fearless. Fearless crafter. Post it in whatever group you want. If no one likes it, y'all do know, like, the algorithm for Facebook sucks, right? Sometimes people don't see it. That's how it is even when it comes to you advertising the items you have. You can't post it one time and be like, well, why nobody like my stuff? Because you only posted it one time. I was busy. Look, if anybody was looking for me to comment or like some stuff yesterday, honey, my phone was not working. It was just a hotmess.com, and I was just over it. So I didn't spend a lot of time on Facebook yesterday. So if you only posted one day, and I wasn't online, and now Facebook isn't putting it in my feed because I have 1,001 people that I follow. They're not posting 1,001. I didn't see it. Can you post it again? Why do you guys have a fear of posting more than once? Oh, they're gonna get tired of me. They're gonna get tired of seeing my posts. Then if they're gonna get tired of seeing it all, then that's on them, and they have a choice to unfollow. You think McDonald's cares? You think the car dealerships? You think the insurance company cares about having commercials on not one, not two, not three, but 4, 5, 6 networks? Their commercials play 3-4 times in a 30-minute show. You think they care that you think it's too many commercials? You are either going to shut up and watch it and wait for your show to start again, or if you're watching DVR, you're going to fast forward it, or you're going to get up and go to the kitchen. And if it was somebody for food, even though you probably not, they got up, went to the kitchen, You know what's playing in the back of their head? That McDonald's commercial. Oh my God, I do not want to cook. Child, let me go to McDonald's. You didn't even have to watch the whole commercial. You heard it. Speaking of hearing it, everybody can't see all your stuff sometimes. Sometimes some people just want to hear some stuff. Put your voice on something. Don't just have a picture. Create a commercial. Commercials have sound. You want to sell? You need a commercial. Commercials have sound. Even if they go and then something pops up, they scroll past it, whatever, there's some sound to it. What are you doing to change the narrative? What are you doing to reverse those fears? Failure happens when you don't try. As long as you have done it, it's not a failure. If you don't get any sales today, you don't get any sales next week. If this is something that you want to do, you now have to reevaluate what you're doing. It's not a failure. It's not, even if it doesn't work out, this business is dissolved. What did you learn from it? Did you learn that, I don't have the energy, the time, or this isn't for me right now? I had so much going on. I couldn't figure this out. I didn't have time to figure out the program. I didn't have time to do X, Y, and Z. Just because you spent money on something and it doesn't work out does not mean that it was a failure. It should have taught you something. That is when you fail. If you learn nothing in the attempt that wasn't 100%, if you cannot take away some sort of lesson from it, then you have failed. But simply not getting it right is not the failure. Not learning from it, not pivoting from it, not adjusting from it, not changing directions, not trying again. That is where the failure comes in, because you allowed that fear to control you to give up. And I did one before, and I say it's okay to give up. And I stand by that, because sometimes you have to give up on the way that you're doing it to make room for a better way. If you are stuck on the way that you're doing it, you don't want to take any type of input, no type of feedback. You don't want to change with the times. You don't want to adjust with society. You don't want to adjust with culture, and you're stuck right here. You don't want to give up on this because, as somebody said, she doesn't want to prove her husband right. You ain't going to grow. If he is right, you got to accept when he is right. If you know you're saying, I want to do this, but you don't have time in your schedule. You have a demanding job. You got kids, and you are the one that's taking them to this practice, that practice. You want to help them with their homework. You are the one to where it's like, okay, look, I don't like your cooking, so I'm the one that wants to cook. I need to do this. Well, if you have control issues, and so with all of your control issues, it takes up 23 hours because you still got to sleep out of the 24 hours in a day. How are you going to have a successful business? So for Miss T and, the stuff, you don't want to prove your husband right. He's saying that you can't do this. Why is it? Are you controlling to where you won't accept help? You have so much control issues. You don't want to accept help. Your time management isn't great. So you can't figure out how to make the time to do it. So if the business is not working, is it because of something that you're doing? Something that you're not changing? Something that you're not letting go of? If you don't have time to design, guess what, y'all? It's okay to let somebody else design until you have time. Your fears of failure comes from you sometimes because you don't want to let go of things that you can control, or like things that you can't control, things you really can't control. If you don't have time to create these amazing designs, because they don't happen in 5 seconds. There are people who design and sell their files because guess what? That's all they're doing is designing. They're not making a cup. They're not making a shirt. They're not making a chip bag. They're not physically creating any type of product. All they're doing is designing. That is what they chose as their business. It is very hard to design and create. It is, especially if you're not charging a design fee. You can spend an hour on a design, but you still want to charge $25 for a shirt that took you. So what about the time that you took to design it? Where somebody else is making a design and instead of charging $25, they're charging $5, $6, even if it's $10. You didn't have to spend an hour, 2 hours to figure that out. that left you more time to work on orders. You might spend 30 minutes to an hour kind of just going through, looking for files, organize your files, making stuff from that. But it is not easy to design and to create. Some of your fears are for things that you can control, and you are afraid to let go of the fact, or you're afraid to accept the fact that designing is not for you. It's not. My fear was like that line that I just said. I really did. A lot of this was to get to that point. It took me 55 minutes out of fear to say that line, because some people need to hear it. And someone said, I don't want to be a dream killer. I'm not trying to kill your dreams. I'm just trying to have you be realistic. Some people are not meant to create a design from scratch because you're not an artist. But you can have a good eye where you can take this element. Some amazing person already created the base element. They already created the font, and you can go and you can put it together. Why are you okay with purchasing fonts, but the thought of purchasing a design is like, oh no, I'm not doing that? But you're okay with getting a font, or even if it's a free font, you're okay with downloading a font. But there's this fear of, I want to create my own. Like, I have to figure this out. Just because you were able to fully create in Silhouette Studio, you don't have to fully create like someone else. You can use it for what, like just a true beginner. Some of you have fears because you're trying to operate outside of the level that you are on. You are a beginner. Oh, but I want a bomb design. Bomb designs come with years of experience. You may be at a level where all you need to do is plug and play. Pull in some elements, change a color. If I'm being totally honest, some people just need to open up a file and resize it and print it and press it. And that's it. If you continue to try and like, okay, this ain't work, this ain't selling. I'm going to switch up, I want to do this, I'm going to do that. That's not going to help you any. There's money that can be made in just producing just one item. I see files for Pepsi cups or Fanta and all of this. You know that there's a market where you're not creating anything custom. Everything is pre-made. You think that custom, for Pepsi stuff, of course, they know that that's not custom. Just creating, actually, scratch that. When Pepsi started selling tumblers, right? So I could pour it in a regular cup for my Pepsi or my Heineken or my Fanta and drink it. But it's my favorite thing. Like, I don't always want to buy a bottle or a can of Pepsi. And then in that can, it don't stay cold. In order for me to have ice, it has to go into something. So why not transfer it from my Pepsi can to my Pepsi tumbler that's insulated, and it's going to keep my ice for a couple hours and keep it nice and cold if I want to go and slow sip it. Even though it's a pre-made file, it's Pepsi. You didn't customize it. You didn't create Pepsi. It don't belong to you. That's their trademark, whatever. People have their things about, putting Pepsi and stuff on there. But guess what? Pepsi don't sell these. So even though you didn't create a design and put somebody's picture on it and put a background, put a skyline, put some angel wings or whatever, the fact that you can give them something that Pepsi can't give them, it's custom. But those are the things that you don't think about because you're looking at all these groups. You're trying to live up to what everybody else is doing and not knowing that with all this stuff you see them posted, they made not one cent on it. Yet you, who have a very basic design, something maybe you didn't even create yourself, you have sales. You sell it. Yeah, it looked great on that Facebook post, but I guarantee sometimes for some people, it ain't bring them no money. Your fears sometimes are based off of things that you are projecting, things that you have built up in your mind, your imagination, that they're completely winning, and they're not. Sometimes You have to work in the level that you are on and build. Your fears are built on the fact that you are trying to run before you even started to crawl. If you are a beginner, work on a beginner's level. Designing may not be for you, or at least not for profit. You can work on designing and let it be items for you. Everything that you design doesn't have to make its way to a Tumblr. Everything that you design doesn't have to be something that you can use. Go look at something on, like, as much as you Google, find something. See if you can recreate it. That's one of the things that, assignments that my team has told me, do that with my students. Pick a design from Google, anywhere, and just say, try to recreate it. What steps or what things do you think like it would take to recreate this? That's how you can also improve your design skills. A lot of times people's design skills and how they design comes from their life experiences. Some designs may come from a place of darkness, some bad things that they have gone through. You're never going to design like that because you've never experienced that. To you, it's beautiful. It comes out beautiful because they're designing based off of something that may have been traumatic for them. And then this was their outlet. You're never going to hit that. You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to reach the design level of someone else, not knowing that those designs came from pain. Those designs came from trauma. How they think, something that happened to them changed their mindset. You'll never be able to attain that because you haven't gone through it. You haven't experienced it. So all you can do is work in the space that your mind, your imagination works in. I'm not saying to go and steal someone's design and use it verbatim, but if you are inspired by it, even if you never try and sell it, just try and recreate it so that it helps you creatively. It helps you think about different layouts. Your fear that's controlling you, your fear of failure that's keeping you from being the best you, is just you. You are the fear. You are in your own head, and you got to figure out how to get out of it. So that was my hour. This wasn't a Q&A. I see all of your stuff there. I'm going to probably go back and read it. And I'm going to go back and read it. But if I sit here and try and read them all, because I saw a lot of comments come in, we'll be in for another 30 minutes. But this was more so of a kind of just sit here and talk to the people. You receive what you need to receive, and this don't apply to me, so I'm going to walk away. This ain't for me, So if that was you, it's okay. But for those who this could be helpful for, hopefully it was. But I'm holding you guys to that. You have 1 week. It doesn't have to be in my group. It can be anywhere, because as y'all know, I'm in a whole bunch of groups. I just want to see those hashtags that says fearful. Fearless, fearless crafter, fearless boss, fearless creator, fearless, and then either fearless by itself or fearless and something behind it. Ooh, why y'all tell me I had white all around my mouth? That's a fear. I be up here looking crazy and stuff, and y'all don't tell nobody. But you have to be willing to post it. For those who said they are fearful of going live, inbox me, email me. We're going to have, I think I'm going to end up doing basically, let's do Fearless Fridays. If you are fearful of going live, I'll do it before my girl does her crafts and combos. Maybe even one day you can come on with us on crafts and combos. I'll help you through it. You come on live with me if you want to do a craft so that it helps you. But think about, why is that you want to do lives? What is it? What is your purpose in doing it? Is it really because you want to build a platform to teach? Is it like, so that's one thing when you inbox me and say, or email me and say, okay, I'm fearful of doing lives. I want to do live videos. We're going to have a conversation about why do you want to go live? How do you feel like it's going to help you? So if it's to, and if it's to craft and show people, we'll do that. But if your fear is, you want to do like a commercial and do a live where you're going to talk about your products, you are going to pitch your products to my audience. We're going to have Fearless Fridays. So if you want, if that part I can help you with. If your fear is going live, I feel like I can help make it comfortable. Ask for traits. She was like, I can't, and I'm not going to do this. So, girl, you're going to do it the first time, and you're going to be bitten by it. You go, you start to read the comments, you feel the energy, feel the love. You're going to get some trolls, you're going to get some negative comments, but who cares? All you have to do is think of it as they helping your algorithm. If they post nothing, that hurts you. If they post something, even if it's negative, it helps you. So like, hey, go ahead, post away. It helps me, so I don't care. But if live, we can fix that. If it's designing, you can fix that. Start small. Recreate some stuff. Create some stuff that may never see the light of day, like on a product, but you can post it. Oh, that fear someone's stealing my stuff. Excuse me. If you have fear, especially of designing, have you not used somebody else's stuff? Even if you paid for it, it's still not original to you. How many times have you gone and used something, Mickey Mouse or whatever? You know, there's a thin line on that, but it always amazes people. I'm fearful of people taking my stuff and taking my design. You went on Google and got Mickey, you got Iron Man, you got Hello Kitty, you got Yoda. You went and put Nike on some dang on a Gildan shirt. You got some Adidas that got Sonic the Hedgehog on it. So you don't steal from the makers of Sonic and Adidas. But you worried about somebody taking some design that don't even belong to you. You have created a fear for something you have created a fear of someone taking your design or stealing your design and your thoughts. But you technically did the same thing. Was it 100% original? There's a lot of things in life that's not going to be 100% original. So there's someone that's just, we all have like a twin. I even think we have triplets somewhere. There's someone that's going to think just like you. Just like you. And I'm a firm believer that God gives you direction, gives you guidance, and gives you ideas. He gives you plans. But if he gave it to you and you allowed that fear to control you and you decided to do nothing with it, he probably going to give that same thing, that same idea to somebody else because you ain't want to do nothing with it. You prayed and prayed and prayed about it. He tried to hook you up, but you let this fear control you. So he's like, look here, this got to get out. And I tried to give it to you. You ain't want it. So guess what? I gave it to somebody else. And then by the time you let go of that fear and you do it, oh, theirs is out too. Who's at fault there? You are, because you decided to do nothing with the opportunity that was presented to you. I was almost that way. Y'all know how long God told me about this? Fearful of not being in a big group or what people are going to say. Oh, the amounts of negative inboxes and some of those same people who I had conversations with. Oh, honey, they still be liking stuff. They still over here. They talked all that junk. Oh, you nasty this and you be this, you be that. How can you do that? They're your friends. They this, they that. You a snake. You a this, you whatever, baby. You still on my channel. You still on my Facebook. You still watching. You still watching. You still watching. You still watching. Either you watching because I'm still inspiring you. You watching because you a spy. You watching because I don't know why, but you still watching. You talked all that mad junk, going hard in the inbox, going hard on my posts. But I looked at you still liking my page, boo. Who winning? Who's winning? Oh, whatever. You may not buy a product, but baby, I'm helping you in some way, shape, or form. So it's okay. I'm good with that because with you watching, my numbers are still there. You want to hurt me? Then peace, leave, deuces. But then it's not going to hurt me because obviously you were still around for a reason. Obviously you aren't getting what you need over there with those people who you were defending so much. But it's okay. It's okay. Stick around. We're not paid like that over here. I don't block people. I don't delete people. I let you leave on your own. I ain't got time for it. So if I let fear control me, that one incredible year wouldn't be here. When are you going to hit your incredible year? Your incredible year of being fearless. If you started this a year ago and you look at your numbers, and your numbers, I don't care if it's $5 more. You made $5 more this year than you did last year. It's still a win. It's still an improvement. Why aren't you celebrating those? Celebrate your wins. I don't care how small they are, how big they are. It can be small this month, big the next month. But if you don't appreciate them, why should you continue to be blessed with them? If you are not appreciative of the small blessing, why should God trust you with the big blessing? Point blank in the period. So hopefully this was enjoyable for you guys. It was helpful. Fearlessness. Let's be fearless. All right. I want to see those fearless posts. And for those who your fear is being live or promoting your product, inbox me, email me. Emails in the description, silaholicsmoms@gmail.com. I'll probably create another email just so I can keep all of those together. Let's figure out how Silaholics Anonymous and Honest Speaking can help you get over your fear. All right. So I love y'all. Until next time, continue to unlock your creativity, continue to be fearless, and continue to be incredible. Peace.